Ever ponder whether something as basic as fruit could subtly impair your health? Fruits are nature's sweets, rich in vitamins, antioxidants, and delicious sustenance, as we have been told since we were young. However, nobody informs you that not all fruits are made equal, particularly as we get older. Our bodies change as we age, our metabolism slows, our digestive systems become more sensitive, and our ability to regulate blood sugar becomes more precarious. In actuality, some fruits might subtly become harmful to elderly individuals even though they are beneficial for younger ones. Yes, it is risky. If we're not careful, high sugar, dangerous medicine combinations, or concealed acidity can really hurt us. However, there is good news. Fruits from nature can also save lives by promoting heart health, reducing inflammation, preserving memory, and even strengthening bones. As someone who has spent decades researching these changes and living a full life, I want to share with you today the 4 fruits you must consume and the 4 you should avoid. Your body is worthy of better. Let's go right to the point. In order to ensure that you never miss another personalized health tip, I advise you to ring the bell and subscribe if you haven't already. Type 1 in the comments if you like this video. If not, input 0 to tell me how I can improve your material. The 4 fruits elderly people should never eat. 1. Grapefruit, the silent killer of drug users. At first look, the grapefruit appears to be innocuous, even lovely. It is a common breakfast table staple due to its heart-healthy reputation, refreshing tartness, and vivid pink flesh. However, there is a hidden and seriously underappreciated risk associated with this fruit for older persons, particularly those over 60. A biochemical hazard that few discuss lurks behind its juicy allure. This threat subtly tampers with the same drugs that keep your heart pounding, your blood pressure steady, and your anxiety at bay. A substance found in grapefruit inhibits CYP3A4, a vital liver enzyme that breaks down a large number of the most popular prescription medications taken by elderly people. 2. Like a cursed river with nowhere to flow, the drugs you take can accumulate to dangerously high levels in your circulation when this enzyme is stopped. The effects can be catastrophic: increased sedative effects from anti-anxiety medications, severe muscle breakdown from statins, potentially fatal cardiac rhythm problems, or excessive bleeding from blood thinners. This seemingly healthy fruit has the potential to become a silent killer for people who rely on their prescription drugs for survival. Unfortunately, the majority of seniors are unaware. They never see the connection until they are sent to the emergency room. They eat grapefruit in the morning and take their medications after breakfast. Some people don't survive to comprehend what transpired. That's what happens when you believe something that seems healthy without knowing the facts. Fear for fear's sake is not the point here. It has to do with experience-based wisdom. Although grapefruit is not intrinsically bad, it is just not worth the risk for elderly people taking medicine, which includes more than 70% of Americans over 65. You can enjoy safer fruits without risking your life, liver, or heart. What other fruits might be posing as harmless while subtly harming your health if grapefruit, despite its cheerful appearance, can conceal danger in plain sight? Let's examine the following one in more detail. It's tiny, delicious, and surprisingly harmful if consumed in excess. Please let me know in the first remark below if you're still watching and finding these insights useful. Let's now discuss point number 2. 2. Cherries, sweet yet risky for diabetes and arthritis. Cherries. So little, so tender, so guilelessly innocent. They remind many of us of summertime picnic bowls of cherries, fresh pies chilling on windowsills, and that delicious pop as the pit comes loose. However, as we become older, something that used to feel like a treat could now subtly jeopardize our health. You see, cherries are quite high in natural sugars, especially when consumed in big quantities or in concentrated forms such as juices, dried fruits, and syrups. There are around 20 grams of sugar in 1 cup of sweet cherries. This might not be a major issue for younger bodies with faster metabolisms and steady insulin responses. However, that sugar enters the bloodstream like a wave for seniors with type 2 diabetes, prediabetes, or even undetected insulin resistance, creating spikes that over time harm organs and leave us feeling weak, drowsy, and exposed. And sugar is not the only thing that poses a risk. Because cherries are naturally acidic, they can exacerbate symptoms for older persons who are coping with joint discomfort, arthritis, or inflammation. While fresh cherries may contain antioxidants, their acidic and sugary composition can backfire if ingested in excess, especially when processed. What you thought would calm your body can really make the pain you're attempting to get rid of worse. And how much does it cost you? Damage that creeps silently. Even though you might not notice it right away, the flare-up in your knees that interrupts your morning stroll, the blood sugar rise that makes you lightheaded, and the restless night due to swollen joints are all related. Even if you consume that bowl of cherries in good faith, it can cause pain, instability, and long-term damage. Cherries feel so safe that it's heartbreaking. In actuality, though, even sweetness has to be questioned as we age. And if these little fruits can throw your equilibrium off so badly, just think of what would happen if your potassium levels went out of control from something far more common, something that many elderly people eat without thinking twice every day. 3 bananas. Potassium excess can be dangerous. We have associated bananas with health for the most of our lives. Easy, practical, and potassium-rich. We were informed that they are heart-healthy, provide energy, and relieve cramps. And that might be the case for the younger body. However, as we become older, our bodies stop processing nutrients in the same way. Furthermore, too much of a good thing might subtly turn into a danger. Yes, bananas are a good source of potassium. However, this potassium can accumulate to dangerous levels in older adults, particularly those with heart problems, weak kidneys, or blood pressure drugs such potassium-sparing diuretics or ACE inhibitors. Once effective filters, your kidneys now start to slow down. Additionally, the body doesn't properly eliminate that excess potassium. It remains in your body, infiltrating your bloodstream, interfering with the natural beat of your heart, the contraction of your muscles, and even the clarity of your mind. Every year, thousands of seniors visit the emergency room due to a disorder known as hyperkalemia that rarely makes news. It only takes consuming 1 too many bananas in a week. You can have weakness in your legs, a racing heart, or a general unease. However, the harm can have already started by the time symptoms show up. And the cost you incur? Instead of nourishing you, this fruit could steal your vitality, equilibrium, and even your heartbeat. The banana is never suspected by most elders. It looks too wholesome, too easy. However, simplicity can be misleading, particularly if the interior systems of your body are more delicate than they seem. Consider whether this is what your body actually requires, or if it's something you've merely grown accustomed to before reaching for your next banana. Because sometimes what we think is harmless might be dangerous instead of what we dread. This is especially true when it comes to a fruit that masquerades as healthy. Many people think of this fruit as a snack, but it's actually a concentrated sugar trap masquerading as dried nutrients. 4. Dried fruits, the hidden sugar bomb. They appear healthy and innocuous since they are packaged in small snack packets. Dates, cranberries, raisins, and dried apricots. We perceive them as a healthy substitute in the waiting area of the doctor's office, in trail mixes, or sprinkled on porridge. However, beneath their shriveled exterior, dried fruits frequently conceal a sinister reality for elderly people. Under the idea of wellness, they are sugar bombs. The sugars are concentrated in a much smaller bite, but the water is gone when fruit is dried. This is something that many people are unaware of. Although a handful of raisins might not seem like much, they are the same as a bunch of grapes, but without the fiber, the hydration, and all the sugar that has been condensed. Additionally, the majority of dried fruits seen on store shelves are either preserved with sulfites or covered with added sugar, which can exacerbate diseases like migraines and asthma, as well as cause intestinal irritation. These little snacks can cause silent chaos for those of us in our senior years, particularly those who have high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, or digestive sensitivities. Worst of all, they provide a phony sensation of health while also causing blood sugar increases and gastrointestinal distress. Your body suffers a silent cost even though you believe you're making the right decision. And the cost you incur? It's the gradual harm caused by a seemingly healthful, regular nibble. Your heart is under stress due to the rise in glucose. Your sleep is disturbed by indigestion. The sugar high is followed by an energy fall. Despite its seeming friendliness, dried fruit gradually steals comfort, equilibrium, and metabolic stability from many older persons. We need to learn to examine not only sweet things but also those that have been packaged and processed to look nice, yet do harm. Because just as some fruits can fool us when they're dried, others can become the very medicine our bodies need when they're still fresh and entire. Now, let's look for hope. Even in our 60s, 70s, and beyond, these fruits revitalize, protect, and heal. What should you eat each week to maintain your strength, stability, and sharpness? Let's start with a small piece of blue fruit that could help you remember things. These 4 fruits are essential for maintaining good health after the age of 60. First, blueberries, a shield for the brain. A blueberry has a subtly enchanting quality. It is little, modest, and inconspicuous, and it rarely attracts attention like gaudy fruits do. However, within every small berry is one of nature's most potent gifts, particularly for those of us entering later stages of life. When memory starts to wane and clarity occasionally eludes you like sand between your fingers, blueberries provide hope, solace, and safety. What many of us have long believed has been validated by science. Our thoughts, memories, and even emotions are influenced by the foods we eat. And blueberries stand out among all the fruits that have been researched for brain health. The berry's deep blue pigments, which are abundant in anthocyanins, do more than only give it its color. They serve as protectors, bridging the blood-brain barrier to lessen inflammation, enhance intercellular communication, and provide protection from oxidative stress which gradually erodes memory and brain function. Frequent blueberry consumption has been associated with improved decision-making, a slower rate of cognitive deterioration, and even a decreased risk of Alzheimer's disease. These are no little promises for elders. They serve as lifelines. They stand for greater independence when it counts most, more clarity during peaceful mornings, and more time to remember the names of loved ones. However, blueberries aren't just great for your brain. They are perfect for diabetics and others with cardiovascular issues because they are low in sugar, promote heart health, and help control blood pressure. Just consuming half a cup daily, whether it be straight or mixed into oatmeal or yogurt, can have a significant impact. It's easy to forget that some of the most potent medications originate from the ground in a world full of pills and prescription drugs. Blueberries serve as evidence. They are more than simply food. They gently keep, repair, and safeguard what really counts, your mind. And if this tiny blue fruit can help you remember things better, just think of the heart-protecting benefits of a crisp, high-fiber apple and why eating one every day could actually help you avoid the doctor. 2. Apples, the hero of heart-healthy fiber. The adage, "an apple a day keeps the doctor away," has a certain calm wisdom to it, and although it can seem straightforward, even archaic, this unassuming fruit contains lessons that are more pertinent than ever for those of us over 60. The apple provides strong protection in the most commonplace form at a time when our bodies are screaming for balance. Our digestion is becoming more delicate, and our hearts require greater attention. Soluble fiber, particularly pectin, which binds to cholesterol in the digestive tract and aids in its removal before it enters the bloodstream, is abundant in apples. This suggests that without the need for additional medications, apples can actively lower harmful LDL cholesterol in seniors, reducing their risk of heart attacks and strokes. Additionally, they are naturally low in calories and sugar, which makes them a healthy, long-lasting snack that promotes blood sugar regulation and sensible weight management. Two things that are critical for the health of the heart and joints as people age. Apples, however, do more than only shield the heart. Additionally, their fiber promotes a healthy digestive system, which lessens constipation, a typical and annoying problem as we age. Additionally, quercetin and flavonoids, two antioxidants found in the skin, have anti-inflammatory properties that promote general health and may even lower the risk of developing some types of cancer and neurological illnesses. Apples are also very familiar, which may be equally significant. They evoke memories of homemade pies, fall harvests, and the pure delight of a crisp mouthful on a cool day. That provides solace as well as emotional and physical sustenance. One fruit that is so easily accessible can subtly have a significant impact on your health. Therefore, eating one apple a day can have a significant impact on your body's ability to avoid certain problems as well as the benefits it offers. And if the apple is a silent protector of your heart, what about a fruit that simultaneously nourishes your skin, brain, and bones? It's rich, creamy, and frequently misinterpreted. Let's discuss avocados. 3 avocados. The good fat that keeps your body healthy. The avocado is the most noticeable fruit on the table. It is not the type of fruit you would find in a bowl on the counter. It is not bursting with sweetness, and it is not colored brightly. However, the avocado is more than just nourishment for those of us in our 60s and older. It is a source of strength, clarity, and longevity. Avocados are a great source of monounsaturated fats, which your body needs as it ages. Fats that lower bad cholesterol, protect your heart, and fuel your brain instead of clogging your arteries. They ease aging joint discomfort and promote smoother movement by lowering inflammation throughout the body. This fruit can make all the difference for seniors who have heart disease or are attempting to prevent it. However, the advantages are more profound. Vitamin K, which is abundant in avocados, is crucial for maintaining strong bones and preventing fractures. We frequently forget about this until a fall serves as a reminder of how frail we have become. Additionally, they provide potassium and folate, which lowers the risk of stroke, enhances circulation, and helps control blood pressure. Additionally, they promote eye health by protecting against age-related vision loss and macular degeneration due to the presence of lutein, a potent antioxidant. Beyond the science, avocados provide a feeling of richness in both texture and emotion. A teaspoon next to fresh greens, a few slices on whole grain toast. It feels more like sustenance than limitation. The avocado communicates, "I'm here to help, not to harm," at a time when a lot of items are marked off limits. Therefore, although others might be chasing the newest fad or exotic superfruit, this creamy green fruit provides in a subtle, reliable, and profound way. And if avocados give you mental clarity and strong bones, picture a fruit that not only improves digestion, but also reduces inflammation all over your body, particularly in your joints, where you feel it most. Let's investigate papaya's therapeutic potential. 4. In a world full of over-the-counter antacids, joint lotions, and countless supplements, it's easy to forget that sometimes the most potent comfort can come from the most basic source. Papaya is the digestive and anti-inflammatory miracle. With its tropical sweetness and tender golden flesh, papaya is more than just a tasty delight. It is a natural healer, particularly for elderly people. Digestive sensitivity increases with age. Once easy meals now result in reflux, bloating, or discomfort. However, papain, a naturally occurring enzyme found in papaya, gently aids in the body's breakdown of proteins, relieving the strain on your digestive tract. Papaya not only provides comfort, but also relief for elderly people who suffer from irregular digestion, sluggish digestion, or the negative effects of long-term drugs. In addition to its digestive advantages, papaya is a good source of vitamins C, A, and E, which are known to boost immunity, shield the skin, and reduce inflammation, a major contributing cause to chronic illnesses like heart disease and arthritis. Papaya softly restores balance and lessens the silent harm that occurs inside the body every day for older adults who are battling with joint stiffness, inflammation, or immunological weakening. It has a silky texture, a mild flavor, and a significant impact. It doesn't need to be complicated, cooked, or prepared. You may support your body from the inside out by eating a few slices every day. Papaya serves as more than simply food. It serves as a reminder that healing is not always a bottle. It can occasionally be found in nature's own packaging, ready to help people who value well-being over temporary solutions. After learning about the fruits that help your heart, brain, bones, and digestion, the next question is what happens if you combine these options? One mouthful at a time, how can you transform them into a straightforward way of life that safeguards your future? Next, let's discover that. One bite at a time, you are in charge of your health. As we enter the later years of life, a subtle reality emerges that gets more obvious every year. We can't afford to ignore our health any longer. The meals we used to eat mindlessly, that we grew up eating, that we celebrated, or that we just ate because we were accustomed to, now have new significance. Every bite either increases the load on our bodies or promotes healing. Here's the hope, though. Better decisions can be made at any time, and they don't always have to be drastic or challenging. They can be as easy as grabbing a blueberry rather than a bunch of dried fruit, picking an apple instead of a sugary snack, slicing an avocado instead of using processed spreads, or using papaya in your breakfast rather than taking medications to feel better. A stronger heart, a clearer mind, steadier joints, improved digestion, and, above all, a sense of control over your own health are all the results of these tiny choices taken day after day. It's worth keeping that gift safe. Additionally, we must acknowledge with discernment and grace that not all foods are still suitable for us. Despite being natural and originally helpful, several fruits may now be detrimental to our aging bodies. Dried fruits, bananas, cherries, and grapefruit are not bad, but they should be handled carefully. They demand that we pay attention to our blood sugar, kidneys, drugs, and personal health concerns. Furthermore, mindfulness is not fear, it's maturity. Respect for the body that has supported us throughout the years is the reason. Let this serve as a reminder of all the things you still have, not of what you can't have. We have a plethora of therapeutic foods from nature. We just need to intentionally choose them. Therefore, be aware of this whether you are 60, 70, 80, or older. You have not lost your health. It is there in every meal and decision made at this exact now. You may welcome more than just food into your life. They can be your protectors, your lifelong companions, and your daily reminder to take care of yourself. And you don't simply add years to your life when you take this kind of loving, knowledgeable care of your body, you also add life to your years. Because one thoughtful mouthful at a time, you deserve to age with joy, respect, and vigor. The purpose of these lectures is to encourage you to live life to the fullest and most genuine. I would be delighted to hear from you now. Think for a moment, then share one item you've learned that you want to use in your own life. On this path of accepting these realities, let's help one another. If this video was enjoyable to you, please leave a remark with 1. If not, feel free to use 0 in your comment. Your opinions are very important to us. For more videos like these, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, and share our videos. I appreciate you viewing, and I hope you enjoy living your life as you see fit.